All right, welcome everybody. So today we're in Beijing at Tiananmen Square, and you can see behind me that is the mausoleum of Mao Zedong here. And Beijing is a very important city for China. It is the political and cultural capital of China. And it's not just important for China, it's also very important for the United States because decisions that are made here that are in trade, technology, global security, they matter a lot for the United States. And we're going to take a walk through here through Tiananmen Square. Of course, we'll start here at the Mausoleum of Mao Zedong. We'll also see the Great Hall of the People. And we'll also go outside of Tiananmen Square and see more local neighborhoods. So hopefully, after you see this video, you'll have more of an idea of why China is so important and Beijing is so important for the United States. So glad to have you with us here as we go through Beijing. All right, so there it is, Mausoleum of Mao Zedong here. So the chairman's body has been on display there ever since 1977, and he is very important to say the least in Chinese history because for China he represents unity because he unified the country after a period of disunity and chaos in 1949, and for that reason the mausoleum and his body within it occupies a very prominent place here in Tiananmen Square, as you can see. And this right here, just across the mausoleum of Mao Zedong, is a monument to the people's heroes here. And this was built to honor all those in the 19th and 20th centuries who died in a broader revolutionary struggle to transform China from millennia of imperial rule to the People's Republic of China here. And over there in the distance, that is the National Museum of China, which contains 5,000 years of Chinese history, various artifacts in there, stretching back many thousands of years. And you could spend days in there just going through the museum easily. And that probably deserves its own separate vlog, really, here. National Museum of China over there. All right, and as you can see there, that is the Great Hall of the People. This is on the western side of Tiananmen Square. That's essentially China's parliament building here, where the National People's Congress meets. And also the leaders of China, they gather here to make important political and diplomatic decisions affecting not only China, but the United States, which overlooks Tiananmen Square here. Very significant building here. And it's also very massive, as you can see as well here, with the marble columns right there in the center. Very impressive structure here. Right, here's some more views of Tiananmen Square here. I had to get through all kinds of security to make it in here, by the way. It's very heavily guarded here now. You have to make a reservation even a day ahead just to get in. All sorts of checkpoints to get in, but I made it though. It's a very big square, massive square, one of the biggest in the world really. Very big public square. Okay, and as you can see, there's two other, I guess you could say temporary monuments. These were built here to commemorate the victory of China over Japan after World War II. And there was a big military parade that happened a week earlier, and I'm a week late here, but probably a good thing because probably lots more people, lots more security here. But that's why you see these two big monuments here with these ears on them. All right, as you can see there, that's on the north side of Tiananmen Square, just across the street, and that is the Forbidden City. And of course, that's a famous portrait of Mao there, which is 1.5 tons. It's the biggest hand-drawn portrait in all of Asia, and it's also replaced quite frequently to keep it looking fresh there. And those Chinese characters on the left, that means long live the People's Republic of China. And on the right, those Chinese characters mean long live the United Peoples of the world. And also at this spot, in 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China, which makes it, to say the least, a very historically significant location. All right, so from here, we're going to go south to Jiangyang Gate, the southern entrance here, onto Qianmen Street. And from there, we'll go into the more local neighborhoods, the Hutongs, as they're called here in Beijing. So it'll be a bit of a walk from here. All right, and this over here is Jiangyang Gate, also known as Qianmen Gate, in the southern end of Tiananmen Square here. And this was built in the Ming Dynasty around 600 years ago, around 1400. And from that time on, it was pretty much the front gate of Beijing. If you wanted to enter the city, you had to come through here. And we're about to go through here, and we'll get on to Qianmen Street, the pedestrian street here. All right, after passing through yet another security checkpoint, we're just behind Zhengyang Gate here. And we are at Qianmen Street here, and this has been a very busy shopping street ever since the Ming and the Qing dynasties, basically ever since the 1400s here. And now it's been rebuilt as a pedestrian street here. Lots of restaurants here, lots of souvenir places here. It's a pedestrian street here. There's police everywhere. Everywhere there's police. I feel safe, I suppose. If something happens, you never know. Nice area. I've also been here quite a long time ago in 2017, and I have to say it's changed quite a bit. A lot more trees than I remember for sure. Just overall more developed. They're making something there. Looks like some type of jewelry. There's an alley off to the side there, yes. Alright, so from here on Qianmen Street, we're going to make a turn here. Right here, we're going to go into Dashilan here. This is one of Beijing's oldest alleys here, commercial alleys here. And the streets are going to get a bit more narrow over here. This has been around since the time of the Ming Dynasty as well here. 1300s, 1400s. And as you can see, it's getting more crowded, right? A lot more people over here. Because the streets are narrower. Lots of police everywhere. I feel so safe. Yeah, very, very scenic over there. There's an alley over there. Yeah, ever since I've been here, I think this place feels more cleaner and more developed. Certainly not as dusty as it used to be when I was here last in 2017 as a tourist. Alright, we're coming up on the Dashilan here. Just past here are the Hutongs, some more local neighborhoods here you can find in Beijing. Just gotta cross the street and we'll be into them. And we're basically here, yes. This is a residential area. Also a tourist place all at once here. It is quite scenic here as well. Buildings are a lot shorter here in general. None of the high rises you usually see in China, much over here. A lot different feel from Tiananmen Square, just much more narrow, much more local here. Here's another alley over here. This residential area, local area. A lot of flags everywhere. They're very patriotic in China. It's one thing we got to understand about China, is that they're very patriotic. They're very proud of their country, and you can see that with all the flags everywhere, among other things. Just like Americans, they're very proud of their country here, and I think we could see that from my videos here. Yeah, I like this place. Yeah, it's improved very much. A lot cleaner, less noisy than what I was last year in 2017. But they still kept the old traditional feel. Nice to see. It's developed quite a bit, very much since 2017. Kind of astonishing how much progress they've made here, really. Alright everybody, we're going to end it here at one of the Hutongs here off of Qianmen Street in Dashilan. But we covered quite a bit of ground today, coming all the way from Tiananmen Square to here. And yeah, I'm just really impressed. China has developed quite a bit here in this area. which doesn't really surprise me because that's one thing we need to understand about China is that the pace of development here is very quick. They've come a long way here. It's not nearly as noisy or dusty or polluted in this area as it once was when I was here in 2017, which really wasn't all that long ago. But I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching again, everybody. So if you like these videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated on my latest travels here in China, and I'll see everybody for the next video.